Hey, welcome to Work Talk English. I'm Ash.
And I'm Sage. Thanks for being here, really.
Okay, so Sage, quick question.
Yeah?
Did you see the news this morning?
Which one? There's always something.
About speaking at work. There was this article, it said something like, more and more professionals now say they hesitate before speaking English at work. Even people who know English, they still hesitate,
Oh, yeah. That's actually very real.
right? It surprised me a little. I thought maybe it was just a confidence thing, but it's not only that.
It's more than confidence. It's the situation. Like, you're in a meeting, your manager's looking at you, everyone is waiting.
And suddenly your English disappears.
Completely, like it was never there.
Exactly like that. The words are gone.
That happens to a lot of people, more than they say out loud.
And that's kind of why we're here today. Just talking. No pressure, no lesson, just us. Like two people at the office.
Two people who drink too much coffee at the office.
Obviously, that's a requirement.
So, if you're listening right now, welcome and just relax. You don't have to understand every single word. Just listen. That's already doing something good.
Yeah, listening is learning. Always.
So, Ash, tell me about your morning. Actual morning. What happened?
Oh, okay. Well, I woke up late.
No.
A little late. Not very late. Like 15 minutes late.
That's not a little late. That's a problem.
It was fine. I still made it. But I was rushing, and when I got to the office, I had 3 emails waiting.
3 emails first thing in the morning?
3 emails before I even had coffee,
That is not okay.
right? One from my manager, one from a client, and one from the IT department.
The IT department one is never good.
Never. It was about a system update, something I needed to do before the end of the day.
So, you had a deadline.
A deadline, yes, and I hadn't even sat down yet.
I know that feeling. That moment when you arrive and the day is already full.
Full, busy, complicated, all of it.
Did you manage?
Eventually, I made the coffee first, because without coffee, nothing happens.
That's the right decision.
Always make the coffee first. That's my work rule number 1.
I agree completely.
What about you? How was your morning?
Better than yours, honestly.
Of course.
Of course. I had a meeting at 9, which actually started on time, which almost never happens.
Wow, a meeting that starts on time.
I know, historic moment. I wrote it in my calendar.
You should frame it.
Maybe. It was a short meeting, maybe 20 minutes. My team leader gave us updates on a project we've been working on.
What kind of project?
Something for a new client. We're preparing some reports and materials. Nothing I can say too much about.
Right, confidential.
A little. But the meeting was good, short and clear. I like those.
Short meetings are the best meetings.
The absolute best. When someone calls a meeting for 15 minutes and it actually ends in 15 minutes, that person is a hero.
A real professional hero. No cape, just a good agenda.
Exactly.
So, about that article I mentioned, the one about hesitating at work,
Yeah?
they used 2 words that I thought were really interesting. One was hesitate, and the other was clearly.
As in, stop hesitating and speak clearly?
Right, which is easier said than done.
Much easier said than done. Hesitate. Let's say that word again.
Hesitate.
Say it with me if you want. Hesitate. It means to pause, to stop before you speak or act.
Like when someone asks you a question at work, and you know the answer, but you don't say it immediately. You wait, you think, you worry.
That's hesitating,
And a lot of people hesitate because they're afraid of making a mistake.
which is completely understandable. No judgment. It happens to everyone.
Even native speakers hesitate.
Oh, absolutely. I hesitate all the time.
When?
When I don't know how to start a sentence, when I'm in a meeting and I want to say something, but I'm not sure how to phrase it.
Right. So hesitation is normal. The question is just, how much is too much?
When it stops you from saying what you actually want to say, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yes. And the second word, clearly. Speak clearly.
Clearly. Say it with us. Clearly.
It doesn't mean perfect. It means understandable. It means the other person gets your message.
Simple words, calm voice, one idea at a time.
That's speaking clearly.
And you can do that, even with an accent, even with mistakes.
Especially with mistakes, because mistakes mean you're trying. And trying is everything.
Just listen for a moment. No rush. You're doing fine.
Sage, can I ask you something?
Of course. In your job, do you have moments where you hesitate in English? Like real moments, real examples? Yes, I'll tell you one. Please. Okay, so a few weeks ago, I was in a meeting, a video call actually, with some people from another team, people I don't work with every day. Okay. And my manager asked me to explain something right there in front of everyone. No warning? No warning. Just, Sage, can you explain that part? I feel that's a specific kind of panic. Yes, and I knew the information. I knew what to say, but for a second, maybe 3 seconds, I just froze. Froze. Like my brain and my mouth stopped working together. That's such a real feeling. And then I took a breath, a real breath, and I just started with what I knew. What did you say? I said, sure. So basically, what we're looking at here is, that's a great opener. So basically, it buys you a second. It's natural, it's professional, and it sounds calm even when you're not calm. Exactly. Nobody knew I was nervous. That's the thing. The nervousness is inside. People can't always see it. Right. And once I started talking, it got easier. It always does. The hardest part is the first 3 words. Always the first 3 words. Once you say those, the rest follows. I really believe that.
So let's talk about real situations. Things that happen at work. Things you actually need English for.
Good idea. Like specific moments.
Yes. Situation number 1. Someone asks you how the project is going.
Oh, this one is so common.
Your manager, a colleague, someone from another department,
And they just say, hey, how's the project going?
and you need to answer quickly, naturally.
So what do you say?
Simple options. It's going well, thanks. Or we're making good progress.
Or even, it's almost done, just a few more things.
Or if it's not going perfectly, we've had a few challenges, but we're on track.
On track. That's a great phrase.
On track means we are still going in the right direction. We are still meeting the deadline.
Even if things are a little difficult, you say, we're on track.
It's honest and it's professional.
Managers like to hear that. On track. It's calm and reassuring.
Say it once. On track. Try it.
We're on track.
Perfect. You can use that tomorrow.
You really can.
Situation number 2. You're in a meeting and you don't understand something.
Oh, this is a big one.
Very common. Very uncomfortable.
And a lot of people just stay quiet. They nod.
The slow nod of confusion.
Yes, the nod that means I have no idea what you just said, but I'm pretending I do.
And later, disaster.
Always disaster, because you didn't understand the instruction or the deadline or what you were supposed to do.
So what's the alternative?
Just ask. Simply.
But a lot of people feel embarrassed to ask.
I know, but there's a way to ask that feels professional, not embarrassing.
Like what?
Like, sorry, could you say that again? I want to make sure I understand.
That's good. That's polite and professional.
Or, just to clarify, are you saying that,
And then you repeat what you thought they said.
and if you got it right, great. If not, they'll correct you.
And no one judges you for asking.
No one who matters.
Right. The people who matter, they actually respect someone who asks for clarification.
Because it means you care. It means you want to understand correctly.
That's a professional quality.
Absolutely. So next time you're in a meeting and something isn't clear, say it. Just say, I want to make sure I understand.
You can say that, even today, even tomorrow morning.
No pressure, no rush. Just a simple, honest sentence.
Sage, can I tell you about something that happened to me last week?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I had to give feedback to a colleague.
Oh, that's not easy.
Not easy at all, because it wasn't all positive feedback.
Ah,
There were some parts that were good, but there were also some parts that needed to be better.
and how do you say that in English without making the person feel bad?
That was my question exactly. I was thinking about it before the conversation.
What did you decide?
I used something called a sandwich.
A feedback sandwich.
Yes. Have you heard of this?
Tell me, explain it.
Okay, so the idea is you start with something positive, then you give the part that needs improvement, then you end with something encouraging.
Like bread, filling, bread.
Exactly, a sandwich. So I said something like, I think the first part of your report is really strong. The data is clear and easy to follow.
That's the first piece of bread.
Then I said, one thing I'd suggest is to add more detail in the second section. I think it could be a little stronger there.
That's the filling.
And then I said, overall, it's a really good foundation. I think with a small revision, it'll be great.
And that's the second piece of bread.
And the person received it well. No tension, no bad feeling.
Because you were honest but kind.
Both things together. That's the goal.
And in English, that phrase, one thing I'd suggest, that's very professional.
Yes, it's softer than saying, you need to fix this.
Much softer. One thing I'd suggest means, I have an idea. I'm offering it. You can decide.
It respects the other person,
And it keeps the relationship good.
which matters. At work, the relationship matters, not just the task.
Always. Take your time for a moment. Just listen. No pressure.
You're doing really well just by being here.
Seriously, a lot of people start and stop. You're still here. That means something.
English at work grows slowly. That's normal. Don't rush it.
One word, one phrase, one sentence. That's how it builds.
And today you're already getting a few.
Just by listening.
Okay, Sage. New situation. You need to ask for help at work.
Oh, asking for help. People struggle with this.
Why do you think that is?
A few reasons. One, they don't want to look like they don't know something.
Right. They want to appear competent.
Competent. That's a good word. It means skilled, capable, good at your job.
Everyone wants to appear competent at work.
Which is understandable. But the problem is, trying to do everything alone when you need help can make things worse.
It can delay the work or cause mistakes.
And asking for help is actually a sign of competence in a good workplace.
Yes, because it means you know your limits and you know how to communicate.
Both are professional qualities.
So, how do you ask for help? In English, simply.
You could say, "Hey, do you have a moment? I could use some help with something."
That's very natural, very normal.
Or, "I'm working on this, and I'm not sure about one part. Could I get your thoughts?"
Could I get your thoughts? I love that phrase.
It's respectful. It treats the other person as an expert.
And people like to be asked for their thoughts. It feels good to help.
Exactly. So asking for help is not weakness. It's communication.
Professional communication.
And in English, keeping it short and polite, that's usually enough.
You don't need a long explanation. Just a simple, honest ask.
Simple and honest. Every time.
Sage, let me ask you something personal. When you first started working in an English-speaking environment, were you nervous?
Oh, yes.
Tell me.
I was very nervous. I remember my first week. I had a new team, new office, new everything.
That's a lot of new.
And people talked so fast. In meetings especially. They would say things and I would understand most of it, but not all of it.
And that gap, the part you don't understand, feels huge
It feels massive, even when it's small.
because you focus on what you missed.
Exactly. I kept thinking, what did they just say? Did I miss something important?
And you were only partially listening because part of your brain was still on the missed thing.
Yes, and then I'd miss more because I was worrying about what I already missed.
It's like a loop.
A very unhelpful loop.
What changed?
Honestly, I decided to accept that I wouldn't understand everything, and that was okay.
That's a big decision.
It changed everything. Once I accepted that, I relaxed. And when I relaxed, I understood more.
Because relaxed ears hear better.
Yes, a relaxed mind processes better. A tense mind closes.
I believe that completely.
And my English didn't change overnight, but my confidence did. Slowly.
And confidence changes how you sound.
It does. Genuinely.
Even with the same vocabulary, confident and nervous sound different.
Very different.
Okay, let's talk about small talk.
Oh yes, small talk.
The thing that seems small, but is actually very important.
Very important. Small talk is how relationships start at work.
Before the meeting starts, in the kitchen, at the coffee machine, in the elevator,
Those 30 seconds, that casual conversation,
it's not nothing. It matters.
it matters a lot because people work better with people they feel comfortable with.
And small talk builds that comfort.
Step by step, small conversation by small conversation.
So what do you actually say for small talk at work?
The classics. How's your day going?
Simple. Everyone knows how to respond to that.
Or, did you have a good weekend?
Monday morning essential.
Absolutely. Or, it's been a busy week, hasn't it?
That one works almost every week.
Ha, true. And the other person usually says, yeah, very busy.
And then you both laugh and go back to work.
Connection made. Relationship building, done.
It sounds simple, but for people who hesitate in English, even that feels difficult.
Because they're not sure what to say, or they're afraid of the response.
What if the person says something complicated?
That's the fear.
What's your advice?
Keep responses short. Yeah, really busy. Or, good weekend, thanks. You?
Redirect the question back.
And let them talk. Most people are happy to talk a little.
And while they're talking, you have time to breathe, to think.
And to smile. Smiling always helps.
Smiling is universal.
Completely universal.
Hey, quick question for you. If you're listening right now, do you have small talk moments at work? Maybe at the coffee machine or before a meeting? Does that feel comfortable or uncomfortable?
Just think about it. No need to answer out loud. Just notice how it feels.
Because noticing is the first step. You start to know what you need.
And then you can build exactly that.
Sage, let's talk about meetings, because meetings are a big part of work life.
Meetings. Oh, where do we start?
They can be stressful, especially in English.
Because things move fast in a meeting. People talk over each other, ideas come quickly,
And you have maybe 2 seconds to decide, do I say something now or not?
and that moment passes so fast.
And then the moment is gone, and you think, I had something to say. I just didn't say it.
And you leave the meeting feeling a little frustrated,
With yourself.
which is not a good feeling.
So, what helps in a meeting? What actually helps?
A few things. First, prepare 1 or 2 sentences before the meeting.
Prepare? Even if it's a regular meeting?
Even for regular meetings, think about what you might want to say, even just a comment.
So you have something ready.
And when the moment comes, you say your prepared sentence. It comes out more smoothly.
Because it's already formed in your head.
Exactly. The preparation does the hard work. You just deliver it,
That's smart. I do that too. Even now.
right? It's not cheating, it's preparation. That's what professionals do.
Second thing that helps in meetings?
Use simple phrases to enter the conversation.
Like,
Like, I just want to add something.
that's a great one.
Or, can I jump in for a second?
Jump in? It means enter the conversation. Join in.
Yes. Can I jump in is natural and polite.
And it signals, I have something to say. Please give me a moment.
And usually people stop and listen.
Or, actually, I had a thought on that.
I had a thought on that. Very professional. Very calm.
It doesn't feel aggressive. It feels collaborative. Collaborative.
Working together. Contributing.
That's what meetings are for. Contributing.
And even a small contribution counts.
One sentence, one question, one comment.
That's enough to feel part of the conversation.
And the more you do it, even once per meeting, the more natural it becomes.
It builds. Slowly. Steadily.
Steady.
like a good foundation.
A good professional foundation.
Okay, deadlines. Let's talk about deadlines.
The word everyone has feelings about.
Strong feelings.
A deadline is a date or time when something must be finished.
Must. Not should. Must.
And at work, deadlines are serious.
Missing a deadline can cause problems for you, your team, your manager.
So knowing how to talk about deadlines in English, that's important.
Very practical.
Okay, simple phrases. The deadline is Friday.
Clear, direct.
Or, we need to finish this by end of day.
End of day. That's a very common phrase at work.
It means by the end of the working day. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whenever your day ends.
People say EOD sometimes. EOD.
Yes, in emails especially. Please send me this by EOD.
So if you get that in an email, end of day. Same meaning.
Now, what if you can't meet the deadline?
Then you communicate. Early.
As early as possible.
Not at 4:59 on Friday.
No, please, not then.
Earlier. When you first realize there might be a problem.
What do you say?
Something like, I wanted to give you an update. I'm working on the report, but I need a little more time. Is it possible to extend the deadline until Monday?
That's very clear, very professional.
Extend the deadline. It means move it. Give more time.
And asking, is it possible? That's polite. You're asking, not demanding.
Managers respond better to that.
Much better, because you're being responsible. You're communicating. You're not disappearing.
Disappearing is the worst option.
Always, always communicate.
Even bad news is better communicated early.
Early and calmly,
And in simple, clear English.
which you can do, even today. Can I tell you about a colleague of mine?
Please.
So there's someone on my team, very capable, knows her work really well.
Okay.
But in meetings, she's quiet, very quiet.
Even though she has ideas?
Oh, she has ideas. After the meeting, she'll come to me and say, I was thinking this during the meeting, but I didn't say anything.
And you think, why didn't you say it?
Exactly. And I asked her once, I said, why don't you speak more in meetings?
What did she say?
She said, my English isn't good enough.
And was that true?
No, it was not true. Her English is fine, clear, understandable.
So it wasn't about the English.
It was about how she felt about her English.
The feeling, not the reality.
There's a big difference between those two things.
A huge difference.
And I told her, your English is good enough, right now, to say what you're thinking.
Did she believe you?
Slowly. She started saying one thing per meeting, just one small thing.
And?
And people listened and responded positively.
Because the content was good.
The content was always good. The English was already good. She just needed to see it.
So the English was never really the problem.
The hesitation was the problem. The belief that she wasn't ready.
And the truth is, you're almost always more ready than you think.
Almost always. That's what I believe.
That's worth sitting with for a moment.
Really.
You're more ready than you think. Let's talk about emails. Because at work, so much happens through email.
Emails, yes. And people spend a lot of time on them.
Too much time sometimes.
Because they rewrite the same sentence 5 times.
Looking for the perfect word.
And there is no perfect word. There's just a clear word.
Clear is better than perfect.
Always. Okay, so basic email structure. Short and professional.
Start with a greeting.
Hi, name. Simple, warm.
Or dear name, if it's more formal.
Then, one sentence on why you're writing.
I'm writing to follow up on.
Or, I wanted to check in about.
Or I have a quick question about.
Then the actual message. Short, 2 or 3 sentences.
Then close.
Please let me know if you have any questions.
Or looking forward to your reply. Or thank you for your time.
Then, best regards, or kind regards, or just thanks.
Done.
That's a professional email.
No need for long paragraphs. No need for complicated words.
Short sentences, clear message, polite ending.
If you write like that, you will be respected.
Because clarity is a professional skill.
One of the most important ones.
And it applies in emails, in meetings, and conversation.
Clear is professional. Always. Ash, what about video calls? Because so many people work with video calls now.
Wait, I'm Ash.
Oh, sorry. I got turned around. I mean, Ash, you're right. I'm Sage. Let me restart that.
Let's just keep going. Video calls.
Video calls. Yes, very common now. Working from home, international teams.
And video calls have their own kind of stress.
because of the camera and the sound sometimes.
Connection problems, the lag, the silence between sentences.
That pause where you're not sure if the other person finished talking,
And you both start speaking at the same time?
and then both stop.
Yes, and then both try again.
It's awkward, but it's normal.
Very normal. So, phrases for video calls.
Useful ones. If there's a connection problem, sorry, I think I lost you for a second. Could you repeat that?
That's perfect.
Or, sorry, you're breaking up a little. Can you say that again?
Breaking up, it means the connection is unstable. The sound cuts in and out.
Very common on video calls.
And it's not your fault. Technology does this.
So you just say it calmly. Sorry, you're breaking up. No stress.
Or, if you want to speak but you're not sure if someone is done, sorry, were you finished? I didn't want to interrupt.
That's so polite.
And it shows awareness. You notice the other person.
People appreciate that.
On video calls especially, where reading body language is harder.
Right, because you're looking at a small screen.
Not a full person.
So you have to use words more, verbally.
Were you finished does that well.
Simple, considerate.
And in a professional video call, considerate is always the right approach.
Sage, let's slow down for a second. Just a moment.
Yeah,
For anyone listening, you might be on a commute right now, or at home after a long day.
maybe you're tired.
Maybe today was hard.
And English feels like one more thing.
We understand that.
Really, we do.
But here's something true. Just listening to this, just letting the English move around you, that's useful.
Your brain is listening even when you're not trying hard.
And slowly, it stores things. Small things.
A word, a phrase, a rhythm.
And one day, at work, something comes out naturally.
And you think, where did that come from?
From here. From moments like this. Quiet listening. No pressure.
That's how language really builds.
Slowly, honestly, quietly.
So just stay with us a little longer. You're doing the right thing.
Okay, phrases. Real work phrases. Let's do some quick ones.
Quick and useful.
When your manager gives you a task, what do you say?
You say, got it, I'll take care of that.
Short, confident, professional.
Or, sure, I'll get started on that right away.
Right away means immediately, without delay.
It sounds proactive. It sounds reliable.
Managers like reliable.
Every manager everywhere.
When you finish a task, what do you say?
I've completed the report. I'll send it over now.
Send it over, it means share it. Send it by email.
Very natural, very office.
When you need more time, what do you say?
I'm still working on it. I'll have it ready by end of day.
Calm, not apologetic, just factual.
You don't need to over-apologize.
Just communicate the status.
I'm still working on it. I'll have it ready by...
That's professional. That's enough.
When someone does something well and you want to say so,
That was really well done. Or nice work on that.
simple praise, but it matters.
People don't say it enough at work.
They really don't. So when you say it, it stands out.
Nice work on that. Try that tomorrow.
Even once, see how it feels.
It feels good to give and to receive.
Always.
Sage, back to that news headline for a second.
Stop hesitating and speak clearly at work.
Why do you think clearly matters so much? Like more than perfectly?
Because in a real work situation, no one is grading you.
No one is marking your grammar.
They're listening for your message, for your idea, for your point.
And if they understand your point, that's a success.
Full success.
Even with an accent.
Even with a grammar mistake.
Even with a pause where you search for a word.
The pause is human. Everyone does it.
Native speakers pause all the time.
They say and you know what I mean?
Which is not perfect English.
But it's real English.
Real English has pauses and ums and small mistakes.
And it's still completely understood.
So give yourself the same allowance.
The same grace.
You don't have to be perfect. You have to be clear.
And clarity comes from trying, from practice, from saying the words, even when it feels uncomfortable.
Especially then.
Especially then, because that's where the growth is.
The uncomfortable moment, that's where English improves.
Step by step, conversation by conversation.
Just like today.
Ash, I want to talk about something a little sensitive.
Sure. What is it?
What happens when you make a mistake at work? In English, in front of people. Because that's the fear, right? That's what's behind the hesitation.
The fear of making a mistake in public.
In front of your colleagues, your manager, a client.
And it happens. It will happen. It has happened to everyone.
To me, for sure.
What did you do?
The first few times, I felt embarrassed. I went quiet.
The natural reaction.
But then I noticed something. When I made a small mistake, most people didn't react.
They didn't stop the conversation
They didn't correct me, they just continued.
because they understood you.
Because the mistake didn't affect the meaning, the message was still clear.
And that's the real test. Not did I say it perfectly, but was I understood?
Yes, that's the real question.
And 9 times out of 10, the answer is yes.
9 times out of 10. Easy.
And the one time you're not understood, someone will ask you to repeat.
And you repeat. No drama.
No drama at all.
Sorry, let me say that again. And you do, and life continues.
The world doesn't stop because of a grammar mistake.
It never has, and it never will.
Okay, good reminder.
A necessary one.
Mistakes are normal. They are part of the work, part of the language, part of being human.
You're not doing it wrong, you're doing it real.
And real is enough. Real is actually more than enough. All right, let's do one more real situation, a very common one.
What is it?
Introducing yourself at work. New team, new meeting, first time with people.
Oh, that moment.
Tell us a little about yourself,
Those words, they cause a lot of panic.
because suddenly you have to speak about yourself in English in front of strangers.
But it's actually one of the easiest things to prepare.
Because it's always the same structure.
Right, and you can prepare it, practice it at home, have it ready.
So what does it sound like?
Simple, natural. Something like, "Hi everyone, my name is your name. I'm in the your department team. I've been with the company for time. I'm looking forward to working with you all."
That's perfect. That's all you need.
4 sentences, maybe 5.
You can add one personal thing. Outside of work, I enjoy, or in my free time, I like to,
Something small, human.
because people remember that more than your job title.
They remember, oh, that's the person who likes hiking, or that's the person who mentioned cooking.
And next time you meet, they might say, hey, did you go hiking this weekend?
And now you're having small talk,
And now you have a connection.
built from one small personal sentence.
So, your introduction, prepare it, practice it, own it.
It's yours and it's ready.
Have you used this kind of language at work? Any of these phrases we talked about today?
Think about that for a moment. Just think.
I'm on track. Could you say that again? I just want to add something.
I'll get started on that right away. Any of those feel familiar?
You might be using some already without realizing it.
And if not, you have them now, starting today.
Sage, before we wrap up, can we just say something honest?
Please.
English at work can feel like a wall.
Yes.
Like there's this wall between what you want to say and what comes out.
I know that wall.
And the wall feels solid, like it won't move.
But it does move. It doesn't fall at once.
No, it's one brick at a time.
One conversation, one phrase, one brave moment.
One time you said something in a meeting even though you were nervous.
And it was fine.
Better than fine.
One time you sent the email instead of waiting.
And got a response.
One time you asked for clarification instead of just nodding.
And understood the whole project because of it.
Those moments, they're the bricks moving.
Slowly, steadily.
And the wall gets smaller.
Until one day, you're standing on the other side.
And you barely remember it being there.
That's where you're going.
You're already on the way.
You really are.
Ash, last thing. Let's close with something they can take away. One simple thing.
Just one thing?
One simple, memorable.
Okay, here's mine. Next time you're at work, in a meeting or a conversation, find one moment to say something. One sentence. It doesn't have to be brilliant. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Just say one thing.
And that's it. That's the goal for today.
One sentence.
One moment.
One small step.
And the step after that will come.
It always does.
Just give it a chance.
Thank you for listening today. Really.
This was a good one.
I think so too.
We'll be back. Take care of yourselves.
Slow is okay. Steady is okay.
You're doing better than you think.
Honestly.
See you next time.
Bye for now.